Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, and this is going to be my second video. Today I will be talking about how I create my stuffed toys and the process of designing it all the way to making the actual product. So just for anyone that's new coming here to my channel, my name is Sabrina and I am the founder of Smol and Cozy, which we create sustainable and safe stuffed toys that are suitable since birth, and they are very safe for people with health conditions such as breathing problems or skin irritation. The fabrics that we use to make our stuffed toys will make them safe for anyone to play with them. So just to talk about my stuffed toys, this is one of the first designs that I have. It's a Canada Goose, and I also have other designs. So it's these three series of bunnies called Radish, Carrot, and Beetroot. So they are different sizes, different colors, and they're fun for children, little kids to play with. Today I'll be mainly going through how I was able to turn my very first prototype, something like this, into the final version of something like this. And you guys can guess how many variations I had in between, and I'll slowly review them as we continue on the rest of the video. So first, we have to talk about the design process, which is drawing out the stuffed toy that we want, what it will look like. So for me, I use one of the simplest and most convenient apps, which I draw on my iPad using Procreate. And these here you can see are just all the drawings I have for the different designs of products. So I can show you guys the drawing for Radish, which is like this. So the way that I have this is that I drew the design in different perspectives so that you can see what it will be like in more of a 3D point of view, even though it's 2D. So there's the front perspective, the side, and the back. And this is more of like a 3/4 type of perspective to see how the ears and the arms kind of go together and what will be covering what. And closer, you can also see that I labeled the dimensions of the stuffed toy from height to width to length. So this is what you would want to hand over to a manufacturer if you want to design your own stuffed toy. So now that I have a design of my product, the second thing I would want to do is to send the design over to someone that can make it for me. Of course, if you know how to make stuffed toys yourself, that is great. But obviously, if I want to mass produce it, it is definitely a lot easier if you find factories that can do it for you. How I found my manufacturer is that I actually just went on Alibaba.com and found my manufacturer that way. I did my research for the location of the factory and what qualifications they have, and also how much they can do, and definitely the prices for the products. And I ended up choosing a factory in China, in the southern part specifically, because I also did a bit of research as to which provinces tend to have higher qualities of fabrics. And the fabrics that I use are all recycled, so that requires a certification called the GRS, which is Global Recycled Standards, that the fabrics will have to meet. There's a limited amount of factories on Alibaba that has this qualification, so that was able to help me to pin down a few factories pretty quickly. And I just contacted them, sent over my design, sent over my deposit, and that's how it started the prototyping process of my stuffed toy. So back to the story of how I turned this into my final product. This is the very first prototype that I got back after I sent this drawing to the factory. The proportion wise, you can see that it doesn't really match what I have, so it required a lot of communication with the factory and also a lot of time waiting because we're shipping from one country to another. So then with this in mind, I told the factory that I want the ears longer, covering the arms, and the head should be smaller. And then this is my second variation, which matched what I have in mind. But then obviously this is not the final product, and so I just went through a few more variations to see if you guys can tell any difference. This one, the eyes are longer, more slanted, and everything else is the same. And then the next one, this is the 2, 3, 4. The fourth variation, this one has a bit of weight at the bottom to make it stand up, and I also told them to change the tail from white to green, which is more interesting. It pops up more. But yeah, overall, The process was pretty smooth. With all my requirements, the factory is able to satisfy or understand what I was trying to say, so that definitely was very useful. And also, just despite being from another country, the person that talked to me used fully English, and it was also really easy to understand them. Now this is the fourth variation, and I thought the ears looked kind of dark, so I want a green but not like a dark green, so I thought brighter colors would capture children's attention more, and that is how I got to this last one with the tail, the beans at the bottom, and also a brighter green. And that was the process of how I created one of my products, my stuffed toys. This all might have looked very easy, how I just gave a drawing to a factory, they sent me back, and then we just went back and forth sending different prototypes and eventually got to the final product. But in between, there was a lot of communication, trying to understand what global recycled standard means, what makes a fabric actually sustainable, actually recycled. That was very important. And also, it just stuns me how many different fabrics there are that I can choose from. And I was really lucky that for this design specifically, I was able to land right on the type of fabric I want instead of going through all the selections. But either way, the factory that I worked with was really nice, and they sent me a whole bag of fabrics that I can choose from. Other than the one that I was using, which I believe is something along the lines of Crystal Super Soft, I also have other ones. So I think this is a Crystal Super Soft. And then this one is Bubble Crystal Super Soft. And this one just has more of a pattern. I think newborns really like to touch these textured fabrics. And then I also have just a lot of different fabrics. They even gave me a shiny one. And this one has longer, more sparsed out fur versus just a single sheet of fabric. And also ones that are more dense, yeah. And then this one is Crystal Super Soft. I think I have to flip my camera. Anyways, so yeah, the factory was really nice. They sent me all these fabric samples with the label of what they're called, and just told me to select from these and also understand the types of fabrics they have. And fabric is only for the outside, so there is also the inside stuffing, which they have a harder type of cotton versus a softer type of cotton. And that one is, I have to find them. And that one they also send me samples of. This is 3D fabric versus, it's coming off, but this says 7D. So 7D is for stuffed toys, I believe, that are more hard filled. So they're not as squishy, but they keep their shape pretty well, and that's what people mostly use a harder cotton for, versus a softer cotton, the 3D cotton. This one is for things like pillows or blankets, and they don't really keep the shape as well, but then it really makes the stuffed toy very, very squishable and soft and fun to play with. So that is the 3D cotton is what I have filled in all of my stuffed toys. So what I'm trying to go for is definitely something that has more of a smooth, nice texture to touch with, and also squishier and more fun to play with. So yeah, that is basically how I designed my stuffed toys. It is a very long process. I believe that from the start to finish of creating one product, from sending the design to prototyping, getting the final prototype, and then to the final bulk order, the mass production, took about 7 to 8 months for it to be completed. And obviously I have several designs going on at the same time, so I didn't do one and then finish and then start another one. So that will definitely speed up the process a bit more. But just for anyone that is interested in starting their own stuffed toy brand, or you're just interested in making your own stuffed toy and gifting it to someone, that is the process of doing it. And it just requires a lot of communication between you and the person that's making it, as well as an overall understanding of the different things that make a stuffed toy, from the design, how you should draw the design to the supplier, all the way to the fabric selection, to the inside cotton filling, and maybe any other additional embroidery, the different types of embroidery you would want on your stuffed toy. All of these you have to keep in mind in order to make the perfect stuffed toy that you want. So that is the end of my video for today. Thank you everyone for watching, and see you next time.